Redbug, and welcome to our first episode of Inspire. I'm your host and guide, Mrs. Greek. During this mini-series, we will introduce STEAM topics and challenges to you. You might be wondering, what is STEAM? STEAM blends the ideas of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics all together. When we explore STEAM topics, we need to use many parts of our brains to understand and problem solve. I'm inspired by the work we do here at Redbug every day. But this series was created to inspire you to see STEAM in many different parts of your life. We will read stories together, think about big and small problems. We will even struggle and fail sometimes too. We hope you feel inspired to create solutions. So let's get started. Our first guests are some teachers you know and love, Mrs. Youngblood and Mrs. Vody. They will be introducing the term architect to you. Then they will be challenging you to create your own build. You will have the opportunity to post your build on Flipgrid using the link below or the QR code shared on your flyer. We can't wait to see what you create.
Hi Redbug families, we are so glad that you are here joining us today. I'm Mrs. Youngblood.
I'm Mrs. Vody.
And we teach kindergarten, as you probably already know. Today we have a story that I'm going to read to you. It's called Iggy Peck, Architect. Do you happen to know what an architect is?
An architect is someone who designs and constructs buildings.
All right, so have you heard this story before?
No, I haven't. I'm really excited to read it with you.
Let's see what this is about. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. Good gracious, Ignatius, his mother exclaimed. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen, but her smile faded fast as a light wind passed and she realized those diapers weren't clean. Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks.
Ew.
Dirty diapers. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. So notice how he's building all of these towers and statues. When Iggy was there, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye and out on the porch built the St. Louis Ark from pancakes and coconut pie.
Yum.
How about that? He's building quite a bit of things. Dear Ig had made it until 2nd grade when his teacher was Miss Leah Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new," she said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2.
That's so sad.
I know, his teacher doesn't want him to do that. That might seem severe, but she was sincere. For when she was no more than 7, she had a great fright on a dizzy height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architecture tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. There's the problem. This is why she doesn't like it. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say that she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she thought about, above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Aw, or girl.
Mm-hmm.
I found her.
As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe? Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Hope not.
No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his Interest was killed. Now second grade was a bore. After 12 long hours that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to the Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a bubbling stream. But they no sooner passed that than the footbridge collapsed and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. "We're trapped here! Oh my, alas kids, goodbye!" Her eyeballs rolled back to her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound. Luckily fainted and not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon after, Lad and Lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And notice they're building something. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces, and on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots, and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stringed from ridge to a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There were worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now, every week at Blue Ridge Creek, elementary and second grade, as the school kids can hear along with Miss Greer how the world's greatest buildings were made. This week, guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck.
Wow.
Yeah, great story.
I love that.
Great story.
Well, today you're going to be an architect, but just like Iggy Peck, you're going to use anything that you can find in your house. So start thinking about a favorite building that you want to create. I was thinking maybe creating Redbug. That would be kind of cool. Do you have any
Yes.
ideas of what you could create?
We can make Redbug. If you guys have ever been to Disney before, you can think about the castle that's there, or any other
Wow.
buildings that you see when you're out driving. But here's what we want you to do. We want you to find supplies at your house. It could be, Iggy Peck used diapers. I don't know if your parents are going to let you use diapers, but you might use cups or straws or anything that you have in your house, and we can't wait to see what your building's going to look like.